suppressed our memories, but I can still feel something following us.
There's only one way to find out.
Ramadan, the Destroyer. Succubineth.
Prepare to unleash your darkest fears with Netflix's top 10 hair-raising horror movies. From heart-pounding scares to twisted tales of terror, these disturbing selections will haunt your dreams. Number 10, The Unholy.
I have read several libraries worth on the supernatural.
Offer your soul to Mary.
When a hearing-impaired girl inexplicably gains the ability to hear, speak, and heal the sick, pilgrims flock to her small New England town, hailing it a modern miracle. But as journalist Jerry Fenn investigates the divine spectacle, he uncovers a darker origin behind the girl's powers, one rooted not in holiness, but in a vengeful spirit's centuries-old curse. Each miraculous event grows more sinister, and the line between salvation and damnation begins to blur. The deeper he digs, the more the town's sanctified aura peels away, revealing a history soaked in fire, betrayal, and false prophets. The Unholy conjures atmospheric dread with religious imagery twisted into something malevolent and unclean. Number 9, The Cave.
What is it?
This is definitely a predator.
Deep beneath a remote Romanian forest, a team of expert divers and scientists descend into a newly discovered cave system, only to find themselves trapped in a nightmarish underworld that was never meant to be disturbed. What begins as a routine expedition quickly devolves into a desperate fight for survival as they encounter an ancient ecosystem infested with monstrous winged predators born in darkness. Cut off from the surface and haunted by vanishing teammates, the group's mission warps into a feverish descent into claustrophobic terror and primal fear. The further they crawl, the more the cave seems to pulse with something alive, something watching. Directed by Bruce Hunt, The Cave wraps survival horror in a suffocating subterranean nightmare where the walls close in and every shadow hides a predator with no escape in sight. Number 8, Demonic.
About 25 years ago was an incident.
When 5 paranormal investigators are found slaughtered inside an abandoned Louisiana mansion, a lone survivor tells a fragmented, blood-soaked tale of what went wrong during their seance gone horribly wrong. As detectives and psychologists unravel the timeline, the house's grim history of ritual murder resurfaces, linking every death to a malevolent presence that feeds on grief, guilt, and fear. Interrogations blur into hallucinations, while the line between the living and the dead begins to crumble. What was meant to be a controlled investigation quickly unravels into a deadly game of possession and psychological torment. Demonic pulls viewers into a puzzle box of unreliable memories and spectral manipulation, where each revelation tightens the noose. Number 7, In Their Sleep.
She put her life on the line. But when she realized the truth...
Still grieving the violent death of her son, Sarah drives through the countryside when she nearly runs over a teenage boy fleeing a mysterious assailant. Desperate and terrified, he claims a burglar is trying to kill him. But as the night unfolds in a remote, wooded estate, Sarah begins to question everything he's told her. With shifting identities, buried guilt, and twisted motives at play, the night spirals into a slow-burning nightmare of betrayal and bloodshed. What began as a random act of compassion transforms into a cat-and-mouse game soaked in dread and grief. The film is a chilling French psychological horror thriller where the past never stays buried and trust becomes a fatal mistake. In the shadows of this house, nothing is what it seems, and kindness might be the deadliest choice of all. Number 6, The Wind.
This place is wrong.
No one's here but us.
No.
On the desolate plains of 19th century frontier America, a lone homesteader's mind begins to unravel as an invisible presence stalks the wind-swept land around her isolated cabin. As harsh winds batter the prairie and distant howls echo through the night, Lizzie finds herself tormented by whispers, shadows, and a growing sense that something inhuman lurks just beyond the door. Her only companions are silence, suspicion, and the terrifying emptiness of the plains. Flashbacks blur with hallucinations as the line between supernatural terror and psychological breakdown disappears into the dust. The Wind conjures a stark, atmospheric horror where isolation becomes possession, and the true terror is what waits when you're completely alone. Number 5, Final Destination 3.
I never thought I could see my own death before it happened.
A high school senior's night of thrills turns into a premonition of horror when a doomed roller coaster ride erupts in death and destruction. Unless she can stop it. Escaping the disaster with a small group of classmates, Wendy believes they've cheated fate, but the bodies start piling up in grotesque, inescapable ways that follow a chilling pattern. Each death is a brutal Rube Goldberg-style spectacle, as unseen forces manipulate the world around them to complete a final bloody list. As Wendy races to decipher a series of cryptic photographs that might reveal the order of death, panic spirals into obsession. The film is a vicious, adrenaline-laced descent into inevitability, where every corner hides a lethal trap. Number 4, Insidious: The Red Door.
I think these drawings could be clues from my past.
Years after the haunting that nearly tore their family apart, Josh and his son Dalton attempt to mend their fractured bond, only to find the horrors of the past have never truly let go. As Dalton heads to college, old nightmares return with violent clarity, unlocking gateways to the further that had long been sealed. Dark figures creep back through the veil, dragging buried memories and restless spirits with them. Their only chance at peace lies beyond the red door, in a realm where time distorts and the dead whisper through walls. Directed by Patrick Wilson, the film is a bleak, sorrowful homecoming to a franchise steeped in shadowy dread and spectral torment. Number 3, The Boy. Greta, an American nanny fleeing her past, arrives at a remote English estate to care for the Heelshire's young son, only to discover he's a porcelain doll named Brahms. The elderly couple insists he must be treated like a real boy, complete with a strict set of rules. When Greta breaks those rules, unexplainable occurrences escalate into chilling events that suggest Brahms may not be just ceramic after all. Isolated and disbelieved, she begins to question her sanity as the house itself seems to close in around her. Directed by William Bell, The Boy is a slow-burning, atmospheric descent into madness where every creak and whisper hints at something far more sinister. Number 2, Crimson Peak.
Must we?
Yes.
What do you want?
After a whirlwind romance, aspiring author Edith Cushing moves into a decaying Gothic mansion with her new husband and his mysterious sister, only to find the walls bleeding secrets and the corridors echoing with the dead. The house, perched atop a mountain of blood-red clay, breathes with its own life, groaning beneath centuries of sorrow and spectral unrest. As Edith uncovers the estate's grim history, ghostly apparitions warn her of a truth far more terrifying than death itself. Shadows stalk her every step, and trust turns poisonous as the siblings' dark agenda unfolds. Directed by Guillermo del Toro, Crimson Peak is a haunting Gothic fairy tale drenched in beauty and rot, where love curdles into obsession and the dead refuse to rest. Number 1, Ghoul.
No. What is it?
In a near-future dystopian India, a military interrogation facility receives a mysterious prisoner whose presence unleashes unspeakable horrors buried in the nation's conscience. As the prisoner begins exposing each soldier's darkest secrets, fear turns inward and paranoia ignites. A deadly spirit has been summoned, one that feeds on guilt and thrives in confinement. Over 3 tightly woven episodes spanning a total of 2 hours and 20 minutes, the facility transforms into a slaughterhouse of revelations and retribution. With no escape and reality unraveling, young officer Nida Rahim must face her own past as the Ghoul tears through flesh and memory alike. Ghoul is a blistering blend of supernatural terror and political allegory, where monsters aren't just real, but they're made. Here are 4 other movies you have to see. Brahms, The Boy 2.
Would find him.
A grieving family moves into a guest house on Heelshire Estate, hoping for a fresh start. But their young son soon befriends Brahms, an eerily lifelike porcelain doll. As unsettling occurrences escalate, the doll becomes a conduit for trauma that blurs the line between innocence and obsession. The Strangers, Pray at Night.
Leave us alone!
But we've
On a family getaway to a secluded trailer park, a masked killer and their companions return to haunt a new set of victims under eerie neon lights. Tensions peel back as familial bonds are tested, and escape seems as elusive as their shattered cell phones. With each masked intrusion, the nightmare intensifies and survival becomes a violent gamble. The Womb. Desperate after an unplanned pregnancy, a woman entrusts her unborn child to a mysterious elderly couple, only to plunge into a nightmare where maternal instinct collides with occult dread. As supernatural forces swirl around her, she confronts ancient rituals wrapped in domestic love gone wrong. The Bridge Curse. A group of university students dares each other to cross a notorious campus bridge at midnight, a forbidden ritual that awakens a wrathful female spirit. Years later, a determined reporter revisits the incident, unraveling the campus legend's misty origins even as the curse twists reality around her.